And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. It is Rainbow Cup round 2. We are back. It is the Sharks versus the Lions in the first match of the second round of the Rainbow Cup South Africa. The Sharks coming off a victory against the Stormers last weekend, thanks to a very good 12-minute period, and the Lions losing quite comprehensively to the Bulls in the end. But it was a game where they were in it with to about sort of 65 minutes, really, and then the Bulls sort of put the Lions to bed with 2 late tries. They did have 2 tries that were ruled out, so you also have to obviously factor that in as well. But overall, I was pretty impressed with the defensive effort of the Lions in last weekend. But if you look at the 2 sides, and we'll look at them in a moment, the Lions obviously a very changed side because of injuries. The Sharks are unchanged, completely unchanged. And in fact, they've got Jaden Hendrickson back on the bench, so a couple of players coming in for the Sharks. So it should be quite interesting match stuff like that. Before we sort of get into the team stuff like that, let me know what your score predictions are down in the comments. Yeah, try and get your score predictions down there into the comments. Lock them in. We'll visit them at the end and see if anybody's correct. And I'll give mine just before we kick off and stuff like that. We are about 8 minutes away from kickoff. Still got a little bit of time as we sort of build up towards what should be quite an interesting game. And I think a game and a series which is all about game time at the end of the day, and it's about trying to raise the standard. I saw today that there's a whole really work of the potential Lions series fixtures, which included a game against the Lions, which wasn't initially supposed to be part of the tour. The Lions were not supposed to be playing against the Lions in the original tour itinerary. So waiting for that to try and be confirmed, because it was supposed to be an SA Invitational and an SAA side, and then the Bulls, Stormers, and the Sharks playing against the Lions, and the Emirates Lions were not supposed to play the British and Irish Lions. But I've now seen a revised schedule which includes the Lions game. So what this Rainbow Cup, I suppose, is about in terms of the coaches and stuff like that, is that obviously it's going to have one eye to the end of the year, the series at the end of the year, when we start joining the Pro 16 and we officially move north. But there's also now suddenly an eye on the British and Irish Lions next month, in July. And the fact that our provincial sides are going to be playing against the British and Irish Lions, and can any of them maybe produce a result? Can the Bulls go and beat the British and Irish Lions? You know, they famously did it many years ago. But it's those midweek games which are quite interesting, and that's quite a nice part of the Lions tour. It's not only those sort of 3 tests right at the end, it's also the provincial games, it's also the SA Invitational or the SAA, whatever we're going to see. You know, those sort of games are quite interesting. So that's what these sort of sides, I suppose, are trying to sort of, short-term wise, that's the goal. I mean, yes, there's a trophy on the line here, in theory, it's Rainbow Cup SA, we can all lift and go woohoo. It is a 3rd domestic trophy, though. So I don't think too many of the coaches are sitting there thinking that's something we really want to see and we really want to go and win. You know, they would trade this trophy if it means they could try and beat the British and Irish Lions very quickly. So I think that's why that's probably the most important thing for these sides. Before we do get involved, though, please check out the link in the description for Hectic, which is an online IT store. The owner that runs it is part of Forever Sports. It's a lot of the sort of work on the website and stuff like that. So I wanted to give him a bit of a shout out. So yeah, if you're looking for any IT stuff and stuff like that, go and check that out. Lots of cool specials and everything like that. We are currently looking for a sponsor for the British and Irish Lions series. So if you're interested in doing that, also you can let me know. I'll put my email address and everything like that will come up on the scoreboard now. As we build towards what's going to be a very exciting tour, we've got lots of content planned. You know, hopefully everybody saw the chat we had about the British and Irish Lions squad on Thursday night with a bit of a fan forum. We want to do more of that. Previews, reviews. We'll do watch-alongs for the entire Lions series. We're going to do a very in-depth coverage. We're trying to get our way into some of the press conferences and see if we can get a hold of some of the players as well. So make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss any of that. We're sitting on 1,297 subscribers. So I'm really hoping that at least by the end of the first half, we can hit that 1,300. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, please do smash that like button. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Shorter Farrell saying Lucy Zammit from Wales against SA player from Toulouse will be a good clash. Let's see who's the fastest. Yeah, looking forward to that. Going to try and I'm just trying to watch as much rugby as I can, try and make sure I'm up to date with everything that's happening around the world. There's so much rugby to watch. It is quite difficult, but especially as a Springbok fan, trying to see what all the Springbok players from overseas are currently doing, what their movements are, how they're playing, what's their form like. People like Damien Lindy playing really well. But it's also for me quite worrying about the Japanese players. The players that are in, well, not the Japanese players, the players that are based in Japan, and whether they are playing good enough for high standard rugby to be in sort of match condition. Gaming say I feel like it's going to be a tight game. I hope so. As a Lions fan, I was pleasantly surprised at how long the Lions managed to hold out the Bulls last week. Yes, it wasn't maybe your best Bulls side. I know Dwayne Vermeulen, Morne Steyn coming off the bench. Obviously, no Marcel Coetzee in it. We still got Johan Goossens coming in. Stedman Kuntz is injured. Trevor Nyakani, Lizo Gqoboka made a big change when he came on. But it's still, you look at this Lions side, and we're going through the lineups now. It's a very, very inexperienced and a very injury hit side itself. So if we look at the sides, and we'll start with the Sharks, who are completely unchanged from last weekend. So Apeli Lefatshe, I thought was very impressive. Starts at full back. Spoon Corsi is on the one wing with Yao Penkle on the other. The Kanya Am will continue to captain the side, of course. Jeremy Ward at inside centre there. Cohen Bosch continues to try and push for potential Springbok recall in the number 10 jersey. Grant Williams gets back after his very good performance last weekend. He continues at number 9. Your loose trio of Siakalisi, Henko Fenta, and Sikamboze Noche will continue. Hopefully, they'll be hoping for a little bit more sort of openness and an opportunity for the likes of Noche to try and run into some gaps. Reniel Hugo and Ruben van Heerden will continue to be the locks. Reniel Hugo obviously scoring that hat-trick last weekend, which was very impressive. And then a front row of Thomas du Toit, Fezenbata, and Oxen Chair. Fezenbata, a big game for him. I thought he struggled at line-up time last weekend. We'll want to try and put that behind him. And then off the bench, Kieran van Vuren, Intutuko Mchuno, Vian Herbst, Jelle van der Meij, Pepsi Lutleze, Sanela Nahamba, Mani Libok, and Werner Kopp. Sorry, this is actually last weekend's bench. There's no JJ van der Meij, and there's no Sanela Nahamba. It's actually Jaden Hendrickse who's in there. And then we'll go into the Lions side in just a minute. So for the Lions, quite a few changes. Pretty much all injury enforced. So injuries to Tiaan Swanepoel and to Stiaan Pienaar means EW Viljoen gets a start, as does Rabs Makwana, who hasn't had too many opportunities at the Lions. Wadisima Similani partners as captain Dan Creel in the midfield. Courtnall Skasan, one of the most experienced players in that Lions squad, continues in number 11. Fred Zailanger wasn't bad last weekend. Is in the number 10 jersey. Andre Warner's got, for me, something to prove, because I thought Morne van den Berg's very exciting off the bench. The loose trio of Frankie Horn, Vince Shatuka, and MJ Pulse have been very good at the breakdown. At part of the time, Sean Everett said that they need to try and watch quite carefully. Rand North comes in at lock. He partners Ruben Schoeman. Carlos Sardi starts, which is a very good thing for me. A fantastic scrummager. PJ Boerta, Steve Toye is the rest of the front row. On the bench, Jacob Asaki is fit again and comes back from injury onto the bench. He's with Nathan Macbeth and Asenati and Klabakanya, the very talented young tight head as well. Liam Hussain's back from injury. Emmanuel Tutuka, Vince Tutuka, his brother's on the bench as well. And then Morne van den Berg, Jordan Hendrickse, and Burger Oendal. So two nice young players, and then the experience of Burger Oendal coming off the bench as well. So it's as good of a line side as they can put out with the current injury crisis, but it really is an injury crisis. Obviously, no Dylan Smith, who's actually starting today in France. He's unavailable. He's left the Union. No Alton Yankees, who's currently playing in Japan. Not Japan, in France. He's gone over there as a medical joker, so he's still a Lions player, but will not be playing a part in the Rainbow Cup. He's gone over there to try and get some game time ahead of the British and Irish Lions series, which is a very interesting move, I suppose, because I think that, if Andre Pollard isn't fit, then they're looking at Alton Yankees to try and step up, potentially be the starting fly half. So those are your teams there. The Sharks getting ready to come out. Let's get to the comments. Louis Zamet versus Vassi will be interesting. And Sean Farrell saying, I watched the video from Just to Rugby, and the reaction from Chris Harris was good, getting swarmed by the teammates. Yeah, those reaction videos are very, very cool, actually, especially Chris Harris. I thought that was brilliant. It looked like most of his teammates were more excited that he made the squad than he was. And 2DRX Gaming saying, do you predict more of a kicking game from the Sharks? Yeah, they do like to go to the boot. They've got a very big boot in Curran Bosch, so it kind of makes sense. And they've got some very good kick chases. Spoon Corsi is brilliant in the air. Apeli Lefatshe is very good in the air. Yao Penkle will work from the first minute to the last minute. So, I would definitely test that Lions back three and see if they can handle under the ball. Marius van der Westhuizen as a referee today. He's assisted by Edron Jacobs, Rasta Rashabenga, Egon Seconds is the TMO. We are shaping up for kickoff, so please do smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get up to 10 likes by half time. Want to make sure we get the clock and everything all sorted, and we are ready for kickoff. I'm going to go with Sharks by 10. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments. Lots of pace on display today, so that'll be quite interesting, I think. Quite a big game, I think, for Dan Creel. I mean, I'm always quite surprised that he got given the captaincy, but I suppose if you look at the side, it's such an inexperienced side. There aren't too many captaincy options. I think in the future, you got a couple of players like Rand Northmark, who's been dubbed as the next sort of captain. Tudor Gaming and Sean O'Farrell both going Sharks by 7. Let me know if you agree with that. I think it's a decent shot. I think it's hopefully going to be a bit closer. Hopefully the Lions can really stand up. But also, I think it's the Lions sort of suit playing against the Sharks. So the Sharks like playing quite a loose, quite an open game of rugby. And if that happens, you've got players like Horton Oscar-San and Wanasila Similani, who's very good in the counter-attack. So if it does get a bit open, it does play into both teams' hands. So hopefully we'll see quite a high-scoring game. As the timer starts and Curran Bosch gets us underway, Sharks are playing right to left in white. The Lions are in their red and black. And Fred Zailinger's first contribution is to get charged down, and Andre Warner has to run back and dot down. And with the new laws, yeah, I mean, that's a terrible start for the Lions. Fred Zailinger taking too long on the kick there. And it's gone straight off a Lions player, which means that's been carried back, in fact. So as a result, we're going to have a Shark scrum in the first bloody few minutes. I mean, that is the worst start by Lions. I mean, I didn't think it could get much worse than the Bulls start last weekend, where they scored a try, but it looks like they're trying to emulate that. And so, right off the bat, we will have a scrum. And I think it'll be quite interesting. I think you've got Carly Sardi up against Oxen Chair, who for me are both future Springboks. Thomas Toy, obviously already an existing Springbok, and Steve Satori, he's been quite impressive. It's a very, very solid scrum. No give there whatsoever. Sharks go down the blind side to Grant Williams. A nice hit there from, I think it's Frankie Horn, and a penalty. Come on, boys. There we go. There we go. Well played. Cool. So those Lions get away with that. Grant Williams a little bit isolated. I think it was Frankie Horn who made the tackle there. And Fred Zailinger, an aspect that he really struggled at last week, he just can't find any meters and touch. I mean, there, touch find, and we've pretty much set a lineup on the 22. Yeah, so you can bother Noche losing his footing at the ruck there. That's why the penalty was given. I'm saying, watching for New Zealand. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we're around the world. Let me know where you're watching from. Sean O'Farrell saying, Lions, in my opinion, need to short everyone out or they'll be smashed in Europe. Yeah, they need a couple of players in at the end of the day. It's not a squad that is ready to take on the Pro 16. Not to make a very big dent in it, for example. Some very talented, some very nice young players, and I just think missing those sort of players in those sort of 25, 26, 28 bracket in their prime per se, to just try and add to the youngsters. But they want to line up, try to set up a maul, didn't go very fast, and now trying to sort of carry it up. I've now got a couple of players shaping up for, I think, the box kick. Warner now goes. And it's out in the full. So Lions are really not starting well here, giving the Sharks another opportunity to come in. Yeah, I think Andre Warner is someone who's under quite a bit of pressure. I wasn't particularly impressed with his performance last weekend. He came back from injury and played very well, which is why he's been backed in the early stages here. But I think when you've got someone like Morley van den Berg, who in my opinion is a very exciting young scrum half, a live wire, a bit of a factor clerk sort of mold, which really suits the Lions, especially when you've got Alton Yankees playing, which we don't. I'd like to see him get more game time. So the Sharks win their line-out. There's no contest there, and they're trying to get more going. They have got a bit of momentum. It's sort of broken up, but still going. Their calling here comes to use it, so Grant Williams is asking for the ball. I picked Sharks by 13. I think we're all back in the Sharks at the moment. So hopefully the Lions can prove everybody wrong, including myself. Sharks now going to the short side. Oh, and he's rushed up and he's given that. Is that Andre Warner? Try time to the Sharks, but that is abysmal defending. And Jeremy Ward is the man that goes over. First blood to the Sharks. And once again, the Lions are conceded within the first 5 minutes, which is the last thing you need. I mean, when you spent your entire week preparing a game and stuff like that, Grant Williams spotting the space, coming outside. Yeah, I just don't understand that completely. I mean, he ran straight out. I don't know if he was trying to go for the inset or hoping for something like that. But there was a massive overlap, and Andre Warner completely jumping the gun, leaving the defensive line stupidly open. Jeremy Ward strolls over, and just far too easy. Short of fouls. Damien Indy was on the bench for Munster yesterday. Munster won 38-10 against Ulster. Yeah, I watched a little bit of that game. Saw the red card for Ulster, which I thought was pretty standard. So the Lions once again conceding early, and that's what I'm saying. You spend the entire week with the game plan and saying how we're going to play, how we're going to counter-attack, and then you concede a try in the first 5 minutes, and that all kind of goes out the window. So, yeah, very, very frustrating. Not the easiest kick for Curran Bosch. He favors a left-footed kicker, which he is not. Probably about 10 meters in maybe from the touchline. I'd say about 3 meters actually from the touchline. It's a good strike. It's looking good. It's looking good. And it sails through the middle. So Sharks go 7-0 up in the first 5 minutes of the game. A poor start from the Lions. Well spotted from the space. Yeah, just far too easy. A couple of offloads, and Jamie Ward goes over completely uncontested. And I'm afraid it could be a long day for the chaps unless they start playing well. Not a great kick chase there. So the Sharks have regathered position, but they've lost the safety to the 22, so they can't kick it out. So now we see our first up and under of the day. Yeah, Williams goes very high. It's drifting towards the side. And it's won by Penkley. So Sharks winning all the small battles at the moment. But the turnover is good. And a penalty to the Lions. The Lions hit back. Take the 3 points. Thank you very much. We'll take that. And this is an interesting battle because this is something that Sean Everett identified. He said that the Lions are very good at the breakdown. Players like Vince Chatuka, for example, very good at the breakdown. So a bit of a conference here for the Lions. I don't think we're going to be going for the 3 points, actually. Yeah, we're going for the corner. So a bit of confidence there from the Lions, which I'm a fan of. To be honest. It's being a bit brave and being a bit risky is what got the Lions to where they were. So stick to what you know. Take the chances. What's the worst that could happen? Trying to see who wins this ball. I think it's Carly Sardi. My boy. Get him in the Bok jersey. Probably the best signing the Lions have made in the last sort of 5 years, which, no offense to him, shows you that the Lions haven't made massively big signings. But we're in the line-out, set up a more. The call comes to use it once. There's no momentum there. There it is. Now we've got a second shove. But the Lions are going to have to use it. No, they remain patient and they're over. Thank you very much. The Lions hit back. I'll take it all back. Good decision to go to the line. PJ Butcher's the man who scores. It's actually very well played because it looked like they were losing a bit of momentum, and Andre Warner was pretty much saying, let me take it. And PJ Butcher obviously feeling that there was a little momentum, and eventually the maul breaks apart and the Lions go through. And it's a very well worked try, actually. It's a good line-out win from North Nark. Actually, I think it's Ruben van Heerden that won it. And eventually, yeah. Yeah, they backed themselves. Yeah, I mean, the Sharks were holding up for a while, but eventually it sort of broke apart and the Lions sort of peeled to the right. And that was easy and over. And Fred Zelling will have an opportunity to try and level the scores in the 8th minute of the game. So we said that we were hoping for a high-scoring game, and we hope potentially going to have 14 points in less than 10 minutes, which is exactly what we want to see. Right, well, he misses that there, so we'll 2 points, but the Lions have hit back. It's always so nice when you back yourself and you've got the opportunity to take an easy 3-pointer and you say, no, you know what, we can get more out of this. Go to the corner, set up a good maul, and they do get the result. Right, so the Lions have also lost the state to the 22 with their run. It wasn't a great kick chase from the Sharks. Now the Lions looking to keep it alive. Carly Sardi, he's everywhere at the moment, but that's going to be a penalty. President Barty, they're being penalised for being off his feet. So the Lions will have an opportunity to clear from here. And on the Lions, can we get somebody else from Fraser Edlingham to kick for touch? Because he really is not finding a lot of meters. Yeah, finds touch at the halfway line, so it's better. But it is the aspect that I think we're missing out in Yankees a lot, is the ability to find decent touch finder. Yeah, Fez and Bosch are not supporting his body weight at all. Under a bit of pressure, I think, is Fez. I think that the Sharks are desperate for a hooker, desperate for someone to sort of stand up and take control of that position and sort of say, I'm the long term player. Nobody really has. And I think that's why there are rumors that Bungie Manambi, for example, is on the Sharks' radar. So Lions setting up another maul here. Sort of broken apart. But they still got the ball. And the Sharks have actually managed to hold that up, which means that unless they can get this ball out, that's very well played. I think it's Segan was Noche who's held that up. Created a second maul after the breakaway from PJ Buerta. Managed to create another maul. Sharks players pile in. And now the Sharks have won a scrum on the halfway line. So it's a nice position for them. The second scrum, the first one was pretty solid. Yeah, very well played by Segan Noche, who was very, very clear in the fact that he's pushing for a Springbok call-up. He wants to play against the British and Irish Lions. He said that's an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime and he doesn't plan on missing it. So he has got, about 4 weeks? 4 weeks to try and get himself into that mix. I'd like to see him there. I'm a big Segan Noche fan. I think there are a couple of spots available when you think that Francois Lowe, for example, has retired. So you could look at Segan Noche there. A very exciting player, quite different to your sort of usual Springbok number 8. He's not a Dwayne Vermeulen. He's not, PSBs or Jean Augustus, for example, somebody of the Stormers who's much more the Springbok mold. Decent scrum there. Sharks now looking to run it. Pegler walks, tries to run through the middle there. Go to the short side through Segan Noche. It's a good tackle from Skortnel Skosan. Oh, that's a poor pass. It's gone straight down the middle, and Lukanya cleans up on his 22. He's got the pace. He's up against forwards, but Ruben van Heerden eventually makes the tackle, and Oxenchair is there in support. A couple of decent handling here. Jeremy Ward, that's a very important tackle. The Sharks running a few phases here. Sharks again saying Sharks was exit better. Well, this is an opportunity for them. They've been driven back a bit here from a sloppy pass. Cohen Bosch now going to the boot. As we said earlier, I think it was Studio Gaming said that's a very nice take from Ilya Fuyon. Almost gets it wrong, but does take it well in the end. The Lions have kept possession. There's a bit of space on the blind side. They tried. Option not to go there. Schoolman goes through. Now Fred Zelinger puts it up in the air. Where's the chase? Where's the chase? Oh dear, Cohen Bosch. You're not going to get a call up like that, mate. Under no pressure, spills it forward, and it'll be another scrum. That's very poor from the Sharks. Fly half. Sean Farrell saying, I say the Lions will have a good chance to develop a good out half when 3 main out halves are away. Yeah, I mean, it's... The problem with the Lions is just depth at the moment, and lots of injuries. I mean, you think, as you say, when you're looking at the flower halves, you've got no Tim Swanepoel there, you've got no Alton Yankees, you've got no Johnny Lombard, who's injured. I'm saying, what time is it where you are? If you're talking about the physical time on the clock, it is 4:15 in the afternoon. 2 games back-to-back will be live for them both. So we've got this, and then we've got the Bulls versus Stormers clash after that. I'm a little bit less invested in that personally because I don't support either side. So if you're a fan of neutral coverage, then come to the next one. But for this one, it's all about the Lions winning because go back, my boys. Okay, reset scrum here just for a change. I don't think we've had a single stoppage on the clock, actually, which has been quite nice. 13 minutes, and we've been playing pretty much throughout. Not much giving so far in the scrums. Looking at possession, it's been 64% for the Sharks, 36% for Lions. Territory, 71% for the Sharks, 29% for the Lions in the first 13 minutes. We are 2 away from 1,300 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, make my day. Subscribe. Let's see if we can get up to 1,300 before half time. That's a big scrum there from the Sharks. All from the Lions. Yeah, it's a Sharks penalty. I think the penalty's on Steve Sotole, which I don't think the Lions will mind that too much because I think Carly Sardi had the better of Oxenchair and Thomas Stoy had the better of Steve Sotole. So Yeah, I mean, it kind of sort of. I mean, when it comes to the scrums, it's so difficult to understand exactly what's going. Even the commentators are saying that they're probably reckon it's Steve Sartori that's the issue there. But I think interesting is I think both tight heads, and that's not great from Corners Kassan. It was a terrible. It wasn't a particularly good kick from Curran Bosch. Didn't find touch, and Corners Kassan, and trying to keep that up, has knocked it on. I'm not fair to say I'm not a fan of reset scrums. It's just annoying letting the game flow is the best thing. Yeah, I really enjoyed the innovation during the preparation series, that scrum clock, where as soon as there's a reset, the clock goes off because we need more game time. We need more time with the ball in play. The major issue in the Currie Cup and Super Rugby Unlocked. Someone's saying, seems so weird not having crowds after being at pretty much full games here in New Zealand. Yeah, unfortunately, no sign of crowds in the SA just yet. I saw that the Super Rugby AU final earlier at 42,000 at Suncorp Stadium, which is quite cool. So hopefully we'll get fans back sooner rather than later. The cases are going a little bit higher for SA, so I don't think we're going to see any fans for the Lions tour. Which means hopefully we can get some money back for those who bought tickets. Let me know if you're one of those getting a refund. I'm definitely one. Had tickets for all three tests, the Bulls game and the works, but not going to be able to go, which is very disappointing. But yeah, we'll make it pay. We'll make it work. We'll hang our chair online. So we've got another scrum here. Sharks seem to have the upper hand so far. That's a very solid scrum, not moving anywhere. Now the Sharks starting to come through. They've got an advantage. A bit of a free roll. Yes, Boone Corsi, Curran Bosch starts to go himself. Steps for 2. Not great tackling there. Sharks with the penalty advantage from the scrum. Seacom was in Notch now carrying it up. There's another advantage there. I'm not sure. I think it was offside. So the Sharks got to free roll the dice here. Curran Bosch goes through. And Grant Williams goes over. And the try is awarded. So the Lions' defense in tatters there, not really picking it up very well. Curran Bosch spotting the space in behind, puts the ball in his feet. He gets blocked going through, but Grant Williams is there and he dives over. And that's a second try in 2 games for the young scrum half. And the Lions just poor defensive line, really. I mean, struggling at scrum time now, Steve Sartori, Carly Sardi, and not having a great time against Oxford Chair and Thomas the Toy. I think it was another offside for penalty advantage for offside. Okay, time off for double checking the grounding. I must admit, it almost. That's actually interesting. So he definitely grounds it, but there's almost. It's checking to see. He almost touches it, pretty much touches it, and then grounds it. So if there's a touch before, it's a knock on. Okay, so if it's not a try, they'll go back. I'm going to take away the points here for now in the hope that it's not going to be a try. We're going to check the fact that he's not in front of Curran Bosch when he makes the kick, and they're going to check the grounding as well. The grounding looks a bit dodgy. I think he might have touched it a little bit before he then grounded it, which means if the ball hit the ground before that, it is a knock-on. Yeah, I think he's in front of the kicker as well, so I don't think this is going to be a try. Yeah, I think he touched it twice as well. So I think he's in front of the kicker, and I think he's touched it as well. So I think it's going to be, we're going to go back for the penalty because it looks like he's in front of the kicker and he's knocked it on. It's not a try just yet. He's in front, he's in front, he's in front as he goes to the boot. So when he kicks it, he's in front of the kicker. But I think by the time he starts running, Curran Bosch has in fact probably gotten ahead of him. Yeah, so he's onside there eventually. By the time he starts running, Curran Bosch is in line with him. So that's not an issue. Now we have to look at the grounding. That's the next thing. Okay, so does he touch it? I think it's in a given, actually. Yeah, the try has been awarded. The Sharks move up to 12 points. Some good refereeing there, actually. I understand the laws quite well. It was quite close, I think, with the onside, but luckily that Curran Bosch managed to get in line with him before he started advancing. So it should be fairly easy conversion. You have Curran Bosch. The Sharks should be able to go up to 14-5 ahead in the first 20 minutes. Time is back on. Let me just adjust that. Trial events should be happening in the summer for sports fans to return to Ireland, so hopefully September there will be fans for Pro 16. Yeah, I'm hoping that we're going to have fans for the outgoing tour. I see that Lions, Springboks versus Wales is already confirmed. And hopefully by the end of the year we should have fans and we should be able to play in front of at least sort of half crowds when we go overseas. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to have any fans for the British and Irish Lions. Good take from Menko Fenter. It's a good chase there from Rabs Makwana. Lions contesting on the breakdown, but not managing to turn it over. Ron Williams now shaping up for the box kick. Cornel Suskan comes in. It's a good contest between him and Penke. Neither of them managed to gather, and it's Raz Makwana who gets the ball. Now for Yun, throws a dodgy pass, is knocked on, but the Lions have managed to get possession back as Dan Creel goes over. Want to see the Similani, the first time he's gotten the ball, hands on the ball. That needs to change. You cannot be getting Similani into the game once, twice a half. That needs to be as many times as possible. The Lions have been driven back into their own half. Just not much of a game plan yet. There don't seem to be a lot of structure. For Yun, Dan Creel makes a few meters, but struggling to sort of break that gain line. That's on the side. Yeah, there he is. From the side there from the Kanya. So Lions get a penalty, which they needed because they were struggling to find sort of space in there. So Fred Zelling will have an opportunity to go towards the corner, which is where the Lions scored their first try. But the Lions just not looking very structured at the moment. I think if you're looking at that attack, it doesn't seem to have much of a... a couple of pops. Nobody really seemed to know what was going. It was kind of sort of almost like winging it. They didn't see like there was any sort of major game plan they were trying to stick to. So I think that's probably the biggest problem for the Lions so far is a bit of a lack of structure and a bit too sort of off the cuff and not planned enough. But Fred Zelling has found touch just before the 22. So PJ Boerter first things first, get the lineup, which they've done. They're not going to start him more. It's a good line done there by Dan Creel. It's a very good tackle there from Sia Khaleesi. It was a nice pass to Milani, but he knocks it on. Nasukamura wants to counter. But now Penke has knocked it on, so we'll go back for the first knock on. It will be a Sharks scrum inside the 22. A nice line being run there by Similani, but he can't hang on. And another opportunity goes begging for the Lions. So another scrum. We've had a lot of scrums so far. Handling has been a bit of an issue in the early stages of the game. Hopefully that can sort itself out. And we've got the Beast and Tauriri in the stands. How come he gets to go? Alright, so another scrum here. Sharks have had the upper hand in the last few, so if the Lions were ever to try and win a big ship, it is here now. Lions had a bit of a shake and shove, but the Sharks choose to use it. Bosch puts it along the ground. Young squares up Spoon Corsi, and he loses the ball in contact. It's just too poor from the Lions at the moment. Zelling tracks back well. He's got some support there from William Similani. He won't kick it. He does kick it. Down the middle. It's not a great kick. Apelefasi will now... Oh dear, he's left Similani another postcode. He goes on a run, but it runs into a couple of forwards, thankfully. Sharks got some space out wide. Lukanya now steps inside. He's an inside ball to Jeremy Ward. Grant Williams is there. He always is there. Great handling here from the Sharks. Lots of offloads. Oxenchair loses it forward. Fred Zelling can't pick it up. And we'll have another scrum. We're a little bit everywhere at the moment, to be honest. Some nice offloads there from the Sharks. It was a really good run here from Apelefasi. Inside, outside. leaves one to Similani on the floor, then runs to a couple of forwards. Some very nice offloads from the Sharks, who are making some good meters before Ox and Chair and trying to find Henker Fent outside him, eventually let the ball spill out. Yeah, very good job there from Vince Tuka. Managed to get his hands in and around the ball and knock the ball out from Ox and Chair's grip. So good work there from the Lions, number 7. But the Sharks have definitely been the better side in the early stages. You seem to have a lot. The handling seems to be quite good. Seems to have a much better sort of plan of attack. Decent structure so far. They've got the upper hand in the scrums. So we're going to set for a scrum here, which I think is just outside the Lions 22. It'll be a Lions put in from a knock-on from Ox and Chair. Right, it's another important scrum here. The Lions had a bit of a second shove last time, so we have another reset. Scrummaging. It's always such an issue here. So it's a big opportunity here. If the Sharks win a penalty here, it's right in front. It's a great position, but for the Lions, they need to try and hold this firm and get this ball out. And we've got another pre-engagement. It's a short time from the for the Sharks from the Lions. Early engagement. Suka Noche is going. Sia Khaleesi runs a very good line. He makes a good 5 meters. Henker Fent this time. Sharks are up to the 5 meter. Present Barton now. There's an advantage there for offside from the Lions. Just all the small problems. And Curran Bosch tries to dab ahead. It's a knock on. They go over. I don't know if it's going to be awarded. They're coming back for the penalty. They're going back for the penalty. Grant Williams looking to take it quickly, but slowing it down eventually. Penalty counts really starting to sort of hurt the Lions at the moment. Offside a lot in the defensive line. Struggling at scrum time. And Sharks winning all the small battles. And when you win all the small battles, life becomes a lot easier. So a big call here to make. I think they're going to go for the scrum. Okay, so the call last time was a pre-engagement on the side of Carly Sardi. So Lukanya is back to his pack. They're going to go for a scrum here on the 5 meter. So I mean, it's the perfect attacking opportunity. They can get some clean ball here. That Sharks backline, they're all setting up on the blind side. It is indeed. Good call there. Forgot to add the extra 2 there. So we've got an advantage here from the Sharks. The Kanya gets met very well by Dan Creel. Sharks have got an advantage from the scrums. So scrums really becoming an issue for the Lions. Another penalty, still playing a penalty advantage. And another penalty advantage. My goodness, the Lions can't do anything at the moment. And they've drew up ahead, and that's going to be a yellow card. Yeah, Marshman, the bench doesn't want to have a word with Dan Creel here. I think we're going to see somebody in the bin. Okay, so no yellow card here. We've got this time off. Van der West is having a word with Dan Creel, saying he needs to sort out the discipline. The discipline has not been great for the Lions, and just not winning any in the small battles. They're offside at the defensive line's offside, struggling at scrum time. We had penalty advantage there for not rolling away, as well as hands on the ruck on his knees. So it's one-way traffic at the moment. It's all the home side with 60 minutes left to play. They do only have a 9-point advantage, though. So I think while they've got the momentum, they'd like to try and up that, try and get some more points on the board, because they really have looked quite good in the first half. The handlings look very good. The handling always does look very good, though, for the Sharks. That is what they like to do. They're a side that likes to throw the ball around, likes to try and find the space, enjoy good offloads. So it's a big. So I mean, the problem is if you look at the scrums at the moment for the Lions, you can't really change much. I mean, Asinata and Klabakanya, Nathan Macbeth, both pretty young, very exciting players, nice and young and talented, but I don't think players you can really rely on to bring on and try and change the scrums. But something needs to change because it really isn't going well. Once again, Sharks going down the blind side. It's a great tackle by Fred Zalinger on Apele Fassi. The Lions are piling in, and they've conceded another bloody penalty. Yeah, this is going into the bin here. Andrew Warner, who's had an absolute shocker so far, he goes into the bin, and the Lions, after all of that, are going to be down to 14 men and still under lots of pressure. Must admit, though, after all those, that one looked actually pretty harsh, to be honest. I'd like to see a replay of that. I think if you look at the other ones, yeah, there was clear laying on the ground, there was clear not rolling away, but that one looked pretty harsh. Yeah, so I think he was allowed to play the ball, but then lost his feet and didn't release. Which the SA team sport? I'm a Lions fan, born and raised in Joburg. As the Sharks break away to the left, Sukambozi almost gets there. They literally camped out on the try line here. And I think he's knocked it on. He has. In trying to drive, they've knocked it on. So it's a big victory for the Lions, who, despite all the pressure, have actually managed to get away with no points so far. Although currently we don't have a scrum off. So it's not going well, to be perfectly honest. But it's a big, small victory there, because the Sharks have been camped out on the Lions for about the last sort of 6 minutes. My clock back on. No, it isn't. So it's a big scrum here for the Lions, who've been under a lot of pressure at scrum time. They managed to sort of force a turnover there. They've got to put into the scrum. Fred Zalinger is now operating at scrum half, and his first contribution is for the ball to come straight back out from the tunnel. So yeah, the Lions are playing pretty much without a fly half because Fred Zalinger is having to fill in a scrum half. So Dan Creel is lined up there, definitely not to kick. He's looking like he's going to be on the crash ball off the scrum here. You've got either way for Ewan, who's probably your best option if they want to go for the clearance kick, but I think they're going to try and at least use 1 or 2 crash balls with Dan Creel, try and get some space, and then yeah, EW is going to be the one that's going to have to try and find some touch. Now that I'm saying I was going to take my daughter to the Storms versus Chiefs game here in New Zealand, and then we went to lockdown, and then we left Super Rugby, so I don't think that's going to be much of an opportunity for a long time, unfortunately. Come on, ref. They've pushed him. His knees are on the ground here. I mean, it's a free kick from the Lions. I'm a bit confused. Our Oxenchair is sitting on the left, on his knees. Van der West is still playing, and then eventually called a short arm. I'm not quite sure why there isn't a long arm penalty. And that's been knocked. I mean, Fred Zalinger. But now it's been charged down, trying to clear it away. So the Sharks are right back on the front foot. Sharks looking to go wide. Chad Jeremy Ward. That looks very flat. Ewan Corsi bounces off EW for Ewan. Sharks starts out at 22. Oxenchair now runs a good line. And he gets it off to Reniel Hugo. He's going to go over. No, he cuts it back. Thomas the Toy, who reaches out and gets over. The Sharks hit back. That's just poor game management. The Lions deserve it. The Sharks deserve it. They've been everywhere, winning all the small battles. Some fantastic offloads there from Oxenchair. I thought it was going to go all the way. came back, missed by Grant Williams, picked up by Thomas Dutoya, and his long arms reach over, and he eventually goes over, and that's very well played from the Sharks. Very well deserved. I mean, Reniel Hugo, he scored a hat-trick last weekend. Looked like he was in for the money all today. Decided to go with the offload. Grant Williams can't hold on, but Thomas Dutoya is there to clean up. He jumps over and goes over, and it should be easy as you like for Kieran Bosch. In fact, I'm going to put the 21 up anyway because I don't see him missing this. But if I say, I feel for Europe, Lions need to sort out discipline and to have stronger defense and different plans when it comes to games. The Lions just need a new squad, to be honest. Haven't replaced a lot of players. We need Alton Yankees back. We need a fullback. We need probably an inside centre. We need locks. We need a hooker. We need a loose head. We need most things, to be honest. The Lions, the Sharks don't need much. I think if the Sharks brought in an inside centre and a hooker, I think that side could be on par with the Bulls. Another deep kickoff. Henko Fenter takes it up. He goes across to up here, Fassi. Once again, they lose the save to 22. Kieran Bosch lifting it high. Fred Zelling is underneath it. Spoon Corsi wins it though. And Ruben van Heerden's there. Advantage to knock on against the Lions. So Spoon Corsi puts it to the boot. And it runs into touch. So the Lions will have a line out inside their own half. Much better from the Sharks. You can see I'm playing with all the confidence now. Man in the bin for the Lions, playing against 14. Spoon Corsi is just so good in the air. Fred Zellinger didn't stand a chance there. Very nice following up there from Ruben van Heerden. And the Sharks have got all the way up into the Lions half. The Lions now under a little bit of pressure. I think just need to get to half time with the score. Another try here and the Sharks will be putting them to bed. So it's important for the Lions. If they want to stay into this game, they can't afford to concede another try. They go to the back of the line, but they do win it. Carly Sardi carries it up. Williams' kick goes high. Who's competing? Who's competing? It just bounces. You can't let the ball bounce here, people. Now it's offside from Rasmapana. That's just not understanding the game. It's all going pear-shaped for the Lions. The Lions should have went for the Jaguars play after they left the team. The Lions have no money. That's the biggest problem. There's no money being put into the Lions at the moment. That's why they can't keep Dylan Smith. That's why all their European players have left. All the players are in Europe. That's why they left. So unfortunately, the Lions can't afford to match the contracts. Even more so. I mean, the Sharks and the Bulls and stuff like that, they've got a bit of money. They can try and pay the players more. The Lions just can't financially compete. And that's why the squad's just very thin. This is just basics here. I mean, it's an up and under. There's plenty of time to sort it out. There's no attempt to play. Ruben Skuman then plays it, comes with his foot, and Russell McFarlane is in front of him, then grabs the ball. That's just not understanding the game. I'm going to head to bed after 2:30 a.m. Why aren't you in bed already? I can't say I'm that dedicated sport to watching at 2:30 a.m. But welcome. Thank you very much for hanging out for a bit. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel before you leave. We're on 1,298. If 2 people have not subscribed, they can click that subscribe button. We can get up to 1,300 by half time, which would be really, really cool. Sharks going for the 3-pointer here. Try and make the score 24 points to 5, and this Lions is a very, very big mountain to climb. Strikes it well. It goes through the middle. No issues there. And the Sharks well in control with 7 minutes to go to half time. 24 points to 5. The Lions, I think, have been in the Sharks half about twice. Once they actually scored and the other one they butchered. But it really has been one-way traffic so far. The men in Durban are looking very impressive so far. But I think they probably should have been more points ahead. I think that they've had a lot of opportunities and being a little bit more clinical. They could have made them count. They've still got the set to the 22, the Sharks. Grant Williams takes it up. He goes towards the and finds touch just before the 10 meters. A decent clearance actually from the Sharks. Much better exit play in the initial part. So the Sharks just cleaning up the parts of the game that were letting them down earlier. I think that's probably been the difference. So obviously the Lions still with the man in the bin, and it's a scrum off, so it's very difficult to play without a scrum off. But I mean, at this stage, the Lions have had much possession, so it hasn't made much of a difference. And then they lose the line out, so just can't win any of the big battles here, or any of the small battles. Pretty much not winning any battles. Floating pass out to Spear and Corsi. He catches it above him, which kills a bit of momentum, with the Sharks still in possession. Oh, and Oxenchair can't hold on. That's a knock-on again from Fred Zelinger, and we'll have a scrum here. Oxenchair not been as characteristically best with his handling. I think it's about 2 or 3 knock-ons he's had. He's usually very, very good with the ball in hand. Very rarely knocks the ball on. Got a very good offload game. He's a fantastic player in the loose, especially for somebody of his size. But a couple of times handling him down a bit today. And now the Lions maybe chance to try and win a penalty or something, put some points on the board for half-time. Doesn't look good. We've got Jamie Ward, who's on the field, on the floor, getting some attention. He doesn't look particularly happy, so that's not a good sign at all. We saw Kate Voliter come off last weekend for the Stormers. He's out for the season. Looks like Naman Klaba as well is out for the season. John Dobson confirmed that it's quite a serious injury there. Should be out for 6 weeks, which will rule him out of the Rainbow Cup. Andrew Warner getting ready to come back on. So the Lions have conceded, 10 points since he's been off? It's not great. Yeah, so we've got a time off here as Jeremy Ward gets some treatment. Haven't seen exactly what happened to him. Doesn't look particularly happy. So a very quiet game so far from Sia Khaleesi. I'd love to see the tackle stats, because that's usually where he really sort of stands up. Very hard work and stuff like that, but very difficult to find individual stats for the game and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm going to resume with another scrum. Yeah, it looks like Jeremy Ward is okay to continue, which is a good thing, because we've had far too many injuries in and across here. Wonder saying, I think the Sharks are good in terms of depth. Could touch up here and there. We're good to see them back in the academy system instead of spending lots and lots. I still think they're going to spend lots. I mean, they've brought in Hugo, for example, brought in obviously Khaleesi. I still think that there are talks to bring in Mbonambi. And I do think that they will look at bringing in inside centre as well. But they've got lots of depth, lots of good players in the system. So yeah, I think that academy. Lots of very exciting projects in the Sharks. If you didn't see, they've also launched a very big business center, which is something quite new. Fred Zelinger, just the Lions, just no. That's from the side. Rare, thank you very much. Another penalty there. I believe the Fassi coming in from the side. Yeah, I think the Sharks are just doing everything right at the moment. They've got a very, very nice academy system. The whole business center now, which is going to be part of the academy, and so, you can try and study and be part of the business center and stuff in the Sharks. So lots of exciting times and projects there for the Sharks. But they do got some very good depth. You look at loose forwards and you think something like James Fenton, who's barely played, injured at the moment. Dylan Richardson, injured at the moment. Got some running repairs here. There's Thomas Toye needs a new boot. Lions got a penalty here. Right, so 4 minutes to go. Andre Warner's back on the field. So Lions back to 14 men. This is a big opportunity. If they want to get anything out of this game, the Lions need to try and score some points. Sorry, it's Ruben van Heerden who's getting a boot change. So I don't think the Lions can afford to kick a goal here. Being 19 points behind. So, I suppose, 19 points, 16 points, try and sort of get your way back into 2 tries. But I think with 4 minutes left on the clock, I would back them more. I would go kick to the corner, which they've done. And yeah, it's a big opportunity. The Lions can hit back here. They can keep themselves in it, but you can't go. They need to go into half-time within sort of 15 points, I think. The big counter shove from the Sharks initially. And they've peeled off, but they managed to retain it by putting in the entire scrum. Carly Sadi once again carry it up. Make some good momentum there. Ruben Skuman now. He makes some good yards. That's a very nice line. It's a risky 50-50 pass there, but MJ Pulsar holds on. That's a terrible pass. Andrew Warner, get off the bloody field, man. Yellow card. Stuffed it up in the first time, and now it's just thrown into one of similar on his feet. And all the pressure that the Lions were potentially going to try and put on, try and get some score back, and he goes and throws that kind of pass. Sharks don't find touch, so now the Lions have to start again. But Andrew Warner is having an absolute shocker of a game. If I was Ivan van Rooyen, the first thing I would do is put on Morne van den Berg in the second half. Fred Zelinger now changing the point of attack, but the rush defense of the Sharks working. EW for Yuns ahead. MJ Pulse is running a defensive line. Go Chaps! Go Chaps! Inside! Thank you very much! And just to piss me off, Andrew Warner goes over. He's the try scorer. All created by EW for Yuns. Much better from the Lions. And Grant Williams, the man there, missing a tackle. And it's amazing how a defensive line can be so good until that one player misses the tackle. Grant Williams, the guilty party there. EW Viljoen went through. MJ Pulsar ran a fantastic supporting line. And Andre Warren on the inside of him. He's the man that eventually goes over to hit back. And after stuffing it up, it's a nice way to get some redemption. Very nicely played. Fred Zelinger spotting some space down the right. Decides to go to the left. EW Viljoen hands off Grant Williams. Then managed to Jamie Ward half tackles him, managed to keep him up. Inside ball to MJ Pulsar. He does very well towards running, sucking in two defenders. Kerwin Bosch comes in, Epidie Fast coming across to cover, and then inside ball to Andre Warner. He runs over unchallenged. The conversion is over, 24 points to 12. And the Lions still in this game, thankfully. Now the important thing is 1.5 minutes. Catch it, control it, kick it out. Find touch. Play the territory game for 90 seconds, get to the change room, have some lemons, also oranges, whichever one you prefer. And we can go again in the second half. Cornerstone, good take there. Now Vince Tuku has been very quiet on the attack, been very industrious on the defense. Fred Zelinger, he needs to find touch, He doesn't find touch. How can you not find touch? Passing out, beats one, beats two, running around, running very laterally. Fez and Barter. Knock on there. Fred Zelinger finds a space, but it's a knock on there from EW Viljoen. So we'll go back for the first knock on. Sean O'Farrell saying, in Ireland, Leinster are the ones who are ahead of other Irish teams with academy players. The Lions need to take the time and not panic. I think the problem with the Lions is that there is a lot of talent in the academy and with the youngsters, but there's just not much after that. And I think, you need those few players who can mentor and sort of fill the gap whilst the youngsters sort of get up. I mean, MJ Pulsar, Frankie Horn, Vincent Tuka, it's a very nice loose trio, but they're going to need some time. Right, so that's very important. The Lions just need to win the scrum and kick it out. By the time the scrum comes out, it will be 40 minutes. There it is. There goes the hooter. So the Lions now just need to get it out. They kept themselves in this game with that late try. 12 points is the advantage. There's still a lot to work to do in the second half, but they've got a chance. Much better scrum from the Lions. Lions looking to keep it alive. EW Viljoen goes himself, puts it on his feet. He's got players on the outside, so the Lions, they're not going to kick into the touch. They reckon they can get some points here. Ruben Skuman now, well, they've gotten up to the 10 meter. They're off their feet, can't play that. Not much space out wide. MJ Pulsar, the try assist. They've got an advantage. There it is. Penalty for the Lions for a late tackle on Fred Zelinger. So, interesting to call here. I don't think they'll go for the points. I think they'll go for the corner, actually. Oh dear, it looks like Thomas Latoya is down. That's his shoulder. Time off. Well, time is off anyway. Yeah, Oxen chair gets beaten over there. She just sticks her shoulder out. That's pretty poor from Ox, to be honest. There was no need for that. He's gifted the Lions an opportunity to try and score some points before half time. But Thomas Latoya, I think, is the man that's down. Looks like he's got a shoulder issue. which is not good news for the Sharks and not good news for the Springboks either. I mean, I enjoy it. It's good to see the referees trying to speed up play. But Thomas the Toy is sitting there in quite a lot of pain, getting some ice on the shoulder. It looks like he's going to continue. And Mario's saying, okay, so what's happening here? You good or not? But he looks like he's in a lot of pain. I reckon he'll just try and get through to half time. The line shaping up to go for the line here. Fred Zalinger, who's not been great at finding touch, needs to try and put this in the corner. And he's finally done it. That's what we need. 5 minutes off the line. Come on, the chaps. Come on, the boys. If the Lions to score here, it really is game on. And then if the Lions do score here, then Oxenchair is not going to be a popular man in the change room because there was no need for that tackle at all. Well, they've won the line out. It's a big kind of shove from the Sharks. It's going towards the touchline. Paul will come to use it once. The Lions try to peel to the right. And PJ Boerters go. They've got another advantage, so they can do whatever they want here. Ruben Schoeman keeps going. He's found meters past the 5 meter. Come, use the back line. Use the back line. It's a bit of a 50-50 from Fred Zalinger. We'll go back for the penalty. Very nice run there from Ruben Schoeman. And Fred Zalinger just under a lot of pressure throws a bit of a 50-50. So they got 2 penalties. So Fred Zalinger is asking for the one close to the touchline. They'll do the same thing. Kick to the touch and go again. I mean, not a great pass to Fred Zalinger, but I think he should have just taken the contact. Right, round two. Can the Lions sit back? Come on, people. Let's make this count here. Fricky, we're still playing. It's 43 minutes almost now, so time's gone for a while, but the Lions have had 2 penalties, so obviously they can still set up a line out, so they're going for another line out here. They've won the line out there. Same thing. It's a big shove from the Sharks first, but the Lions once again trying to peel to the right. Right, Dan Creel now carries it up. Quick ball there from Andrew Warner. Goes himself and loses the ball. Andrew Warner, get off the field. Once again, goes himself and loses the ball, and there it is. So half-time is 24 points to 12. And Ivan Van Nooyen, please put on Morne van den Berg. If I have to watch another half like that from Andrew Warner, I'm going to lose my mind. Ironic that he was the try scorer, but he really has not been good this half at all. All right, 24 points to 12 at halftime. Still a game in it. Yeah, so it's not the best half from the Lions. Much better in the last sort of 5 minutes. Managed to hit back a bit there and keep themselves in the game. But yeah, so we take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to go and sort a few things out on my side. Go have a drink. I'm going to get some food. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll try and find some stats for the game. While I'm gone, please do subscribe if you are new. We're 2 away from 1,300. So please do hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button on this as well. We're on 2 likes. Let's see if we can try to get up to 10 likes before the end of the game. And I'll see you guys in a little bit. Right, and we are back. Well, I'm back. Hello and welcome back to Sharks vs Lions. It's half time. Managed to find some stats, and looks like the stats website that we usually use for individual stats is back up and running. So, if you have a look at stats of the first half, so obviously the score is 24 points to 12. Possession-wise, it is 54% for the Sharks, 46% for the Lions. 3 tries to 2. Sharks have beaten 9 defenders, the Lions 7. Clean breaks 2 each. Offload 7 each. Turnovers succeeded 9 by the Sharks, 8 by the Lions. So that's a bit of an issue there. Tackles made. Sharks have made 47 tackles and missed 7. Lions have made 64 and missed 9. Sharks have won 3 turnovers. The Lions have won just 1. At the breakdown, Sharks winning 55% of the rucks, Lions 40%. 2 mauls won by the Sharks, 6 from the Lions. The mauls actually worked quite well for the Lions. I think it's been quite an interesting. That's been quite an interesting contest because the Sharks have been very good at sort of when it goes down, pushing quite nicely early and trying to get some decent ascendancy. But then the Lions often sort of managed to sort of hang in there and eventually be able to try and win some momentum back. Freaky, how long is the time after half time? I think we'll be back in about 5 minutes, not much longer now. Obviously, we'll be live again for the Stormers versus the Bulls game. We'll go log off after the game, do a quick review, which will be up within a couple of minutes of the end of the game. And then we'll be live again for Stormers versus the Bulls. You look at the set plays, the Lions have lost 1 line-out and 1 scrum. The Sharks have won 6 scrums, not lost any of the line-outs, not lost any of their scrums. So that's been a big part of the Sharks. Their set plays have been very good. Discipline-wise, Sharks conceded 7 penalties to the Lions, 5. If we're looking at individual players, in defense, something I want you to look at is Siegle's made 4 tackles so far. Higgins made 5. Fairs and Barters actually made the most for the Sharks, 6 tackles there, none missed. But Jamie Ward, 8 tackles there on the midfield. So he's been fantastic for the Sharks defensively. For the Lions, the big defensive efforts are coming from Red North Knockle and Carly Sardi have made 7 tackles apiece. Dan Creel also making 5 tackles, as is Andrew Warner, Courtney Oscar's son, and Vincent Shatuka. On the attack, meters made, Jamie Ward's made 13. I believe Fassie's made 29 meters so far. EW Fillions made 12. Andrew Warner's made 15. Fraser Ennings made 13. Clean breaks. Reniel Hugo's made a clean break for the Lions. The only line breaks come from Andrew Warner and Fred Zalinger. Fred Zaling's beaten 3 defenders and Andrew Warner's beaten 1. Defenders beaten for the Sharks is Grant Williams has beaten 1. Cohen Bosch has beaten 3. Upper Fassi has beaten 4 defenders. So he's been full of running whenever he's actually had the opportunity. So I think that's something that the Sharks need to do is try and get Upper Fassi into the game. Very, very good on the counter-attack. We know this. Much like for the Lions, I think you've got to get one to see the Similani into the match. You know, I mean, you look at the fact that he's only had 2 carries so far, so he had very little to do. It wasn't great opportunities either. So I think for the Lions, it's, first of all, I'm putting on Morne van der Berg, trying to up the tempo a little bit, try and see if they can try and rush the Sharks. But I also think that it's just been a bit, it's just been a bit poor, to be honest, from the Lions so far. I think that couple of calls didn't go their way. I think, it's quite frustrating that the penalty, the one try that the Sharks scored, I think should have been a penalty for the Lions, not a free kick. That free kick was then charged down and they went and scored afterwards. I think it should have been a penalty because I think you had Oxenchair who had his knees on the ground. And I've forgotten my water, so I shall return in a few minutes. Hopefully in time for the kickoff, which should be in the next couple of minutes. I'll be back right now. Right, good news is you got the H2O, we're all sorted. Right, so the Sharks skills coach saying that they've got the Lions where they want them. The the Lions, I think, will just want to be able to play like they did in the last sort of 15. I mean, the Sharks were all over them for 25 minutes, but then the Lions coming in much better. So, interesting to see how the benches do. Hopefully, you're going to see a bit of a Hendrickson battle. You've got Jordan and Jaden on both the two benches. Shane Tilbury's still going with a 10-point win. Is this a home game for the Sharkies? They're playing at Kings Park. Their first home game of the season. Lions, 2 games on the road for them. They were at Loftus last weekend and now down in Durban. So the Lions will now play right to left. Sharks obviously then left to right. And Fred Zelling will get things underway. Lions the 12-point advantage. Sharks were very good in the first 25 minutes, and then the Lions slowly came back into the game. But the Lions just need to be a lot more accurate. Need to have a bit more structure on attack. The defensive line needs to be a bit better. For the Sharks, it's a case of going back to those first 25 minutes and doing what they were doing. Throwing the ball around, being nice and accurate. Nice offload games. Up to Fassi looked very good on the counter-attack. And a nice take here from the Sharks. And now Grant Williams shapes for the box kick. The contest in the air. I think the Lions have finally won a contest in the air, although the Sharks have piled through. But the Lions have managed to keep possession, so it's not a great kick there from Grant Williams. And the Lions, the rush defense and the Sharks causing a lot of problems, but Dan Creel does very well to run away from the attackers. But then, oh, hang on, we've got a penalty here. Sorry, it was all a little bit all over again there. So the Lions have got a penalty. I'm not entirely what it was for. Not releasing. And Grant Williams looked like he's taking a bit of a knock. So Lions with an early penalty. So, yeah, I mean, they finished the half really well in the first half. So now an opportunity for them to try and hit back in the second half. They should have scored a try just before half time. I think I was very disappointed. Andrew Warner, for me, has been someone who's really struggling in this game and lost the ball. And probably a poor decision making here. Having a look. So I think it's Grant Williams who's down and doesn't roll away. Now, it's a fair call there. So the Lions going to the corner. They're going to try and... I mean, Fred Zalinger, I don't understand how you can find like 5 meters. He found touch on the 22. It really is a massive issue. The fact that he just can't find any meters and any distance on the penalties. So it's a breakaway more from the Lions. So they've made at least 5 or 6 meters already. Sharks eventually get back. And the ball is available for the Lions, so they can run it over here. Dan Creel takes it up. He's met by Sia Khaleesi, who tries to drive him back. The arm suddenly got very high, so it is a high tackle. So the Lions... I mean, Andrew Warner, get off the field! He has not passed well. He's not played well. He's made terrible decisions. He's got a yellow card. Go, Vincent. Lions on the attack here. We'll go back for the penalty. And I think we're going to see a yellow card here. We heard a double whistle blow here. So they're very least talking to Lakanya. Okay, so Marius van der Westhuizen just telling Lukanya he needs to sort out the high tackles and the discipline. It was Sia Khaleesi. And look, I mean, it was a bit harsh because he went, the initial contact was fine. And then as he's trying to sort of drive Dan Creel back, his arm just slips further and further up, and eventually it's around his neck. So I'm sure the Lions will try and kick to the corner. Well, they'll try to kick to the corner. Whether blooming Fred Zelling will actually manage to find the corner is another matter. That's definitely a battle that Curran Bosch is winning. The battle of the fly halves, Fred Zelling has really struggled. He hasn't kicked particularly well. Andrew Warner has not helped with his very poor delivery so far. He's had 2 or 3 passes right down by his ankles. So we've got Jaden Hendrickson now on. Grant Williams took a bit of a knock, looked a bit dizzy, and he is going to go off the field. So Hendrickson's on. His twin brother on the bench for the Lions. The Lions were very well defended more there from the Sharks. The Lions have managed to maintain possession. But that's another penalty. That's a yellow card here. No, wait. We're going to have a yellow card here. It's either Noche or Thomas du Toit. Yeah, I think it was Thomas du Toit. So sticking with the Noche trying to turn the ball over then. Thomas du Toit trying to get involved, and he gets a yellow card. So now this is a big moment in the game. He warned Lakanya. He said the discipline was going down, but he needs to sort it out. I think Noche was entitled to play there, and then Thomas du Toit comes around the side, puts his hands and slows the ball down. He goes to the bin, very rightly so. And now is an opportunity for the Lions more to try and make a difference. That's a lot of weight that they've just lost. Use it once, it's going sideways. But as usual, they keep with it. They've found some momentum now. PJ Boyd has got it. And get it over. No, they're short. It almost thought they were going to go through. Dan Creel once again go. 10 wide, Corinne Bosch offside, advantage to the Lions. Ruben Skuman, come, you've got an advantage. Give it to anyone, give it to anyone. Stab a kick through, give it to Wanasita Similani. Pick up and go there. Another advantage. Tell you what, if they can try and get another couple of advantages, I reckon the Sharks will lose another one to the bin. That's 3 advantages in a row. And another double blast here. I think we're going to have more words here to Lakanya. Sharks discipline is just leaving him at the moment. That was 3 penalty advantages in a row. I think Morris van der Best actually wants to go upstairs and look at something. Okay, so Lakanya once again being told he's got a bit of time to go and talk to his troops because the Sharks have just conceded, well, 3. Yeah, Corinne Bosch offside there. And then no arm challenge there from Sikumos and Noche. And I think it was offside as well. So yeah, lots of infringements there from the Sharks. And I think if I was the Lions here, first of all, you've got their tight head in the bin. So you can go for a scrum and say, right, bring in your reserve tight head. Let's see if he can cope. Obviously, the maul has been working reasonably well, so that's probably the obvious option to try and go for the corner. But yeah, they called for a scrum. So this is interesting. The Lions have been under pressure the entire game, but Thomas du Toit is the man in the bin. Number 6, Sosia Khaleesi's being sacrificed. Okay, so Sosia Khaleesi's been sacrificed for the Sharks so they can bring on a replacement for Thomas du Toit. And it's Vian Herbst, who was actually in the Lions books for a while. Didn't get too much game time, so he'll come on and come against Tisa Toilet. Okay, time is back on. Now, can the Lions hit back? 14 men. They're just taking Sosia Khaleesi off. He's one of the better defenders on the Sharks side. Sharks under threat of potentially getting another yellow card because the discipline has not been great. So the Lions, they need to try and put as much pressure on them as possible. Try and score early here and get back into that 22 and put them under more pressure. It's a very solid scrum there. Second scrum there. There was a bit of... Andrew Warner, your delivery has been piss poor, to be very honest. Dan Creel, managing after basically receiving the ball behind him, managed to find some yards. But Andrew Warner really has not been good today. That's a high tackle. Lions on the 5 meter, they've got an advantage here. And I think the Sharks, the try actually wouldn't be a bad result just because I think if they... Oh dear. Yeah, we're going to have another one in the bin, yeah. We're going to have another one in the bin, yeah. Morris van der Best had enough. I think it's the Kanya arm, actually. Nope, it's Fez and Barter. Call for another scrum. The hooker's off now. Right, so we're going to have to add a second yellow here. Right, so 2 men in the bin for the Sharks, which means that surely they're going to go for the scrum. The Lions looking like they're going to go for the line-out here. I mean, I suppose you can understand it because, I mean, the maul shouldn't be too difficult with the thing, but I would have tried going for the scrum. They've just lost their tight head. They've now just lost their hooker. So Spoon Corsi initially around the neck there, does release, and Pheasant Bartek caught not running away. And they... you idiots! After all that pressure, and then the Lions go and change the point of direction, and they lose. I'd see it go for the scrum. Go for the scrum. Their tight heads in the bin. Their hookers in the bin. They would have had to change somebody else and brought somebody else on. Go for the scrum. Got it for the Lions, and they missed out on it. That is such poor playing from the Lions. Why change things? PJ Boer to come off there, and then they've broken away, change the point of contact. It's obstruction. It's a big turnover. So it's a turnover. So it's not a penalty. It's a scrum for the Sharks. But it'll be there for tonight. I don't understand why. Why would you not have gone for the scrum in the first place? It makes no sense. 13 men. And this is what I was saying. I think there's also just a very big issue with leadership in the Lions. We've obviously lost Alton Yankees, the normal captain. Lots of the old cap stuff we've got. And I think it's just experience here. Okay, so they've sacrificed Yao Penkler, who's coming off so they can put a hooker on. It was going to be Noche, but they decided to keep him on, which is probably the right decision. But this, I mean, at this stage, the Sharks are going to go down to 13 men and not concede a point because of just pure bad decisions by the Lions. The big scrum here. Henderson needs to get this in and out, which he does. Now looks to try and keep it alive, actually. He doesn't look to... Spoon Corsi gets a rare run of the ball. He hasn't had much opportunity to run. And the Sharks have run this out of their own 22 up towards the halfway line. Van Furen gets caught up there. Now Jaden Henderson looks to kick it over. He sees some space, and that's going to fall in touch. That is absolutely sublime from Hendrickson. The Lions can only blame themselves, but that is brilliantly managed from the Sharks scrum off. Was initially going to kick, saw some space, decided to give Spoon Corsi a run down the line there. Then the ball inside, looks up, sees some space, perfect kicked in behind, and all EW Viljoen can do is watch it run into the 22. And the Lions, who are down to 13, have been pinned back to their 22. So much wrong with this union at the moment, and it's all sort of showing today. I say penalty try for Lions. I think if they had gone for the scrum, they could have got one. Now you've got 13-men advantage. Use the width. Run some phases. Create some gaps. He's off his feet. He can't play that. No, Viljoen now kicks ahead. Hussey will now put it up and under and chase. He's so good in the air. Viljoen comes flying in and he spills it forward. Of course he spills it forward. You can't do anything right today. Sharks on the counter. Spoon Corsi looks up. He's going nowhere. He's running side to side. He's being allowed to decide where he wants to go. Right, Kern Bosch now goes ahead. He goes up. Fred Zelinger spills it, but Cornels Kassan is there and manages to hold on. But the Sharks are there and they've won it back. I mean, you'd think it was the Lions with 13 men at the moment. Henker Fenton now. The Sharks are up to 22. Very nice tackle on Vincent Tuka, who wraps up Notch and drives him back. I play the Fassi. I think you've got a penalty advantage here. Okay, so it was ripped in the tackle by Vincent Tuka, so there's a knock on there. It's not a penalty advantage. They'll go back for the scrum. But I mean, really, how the Lions have managed to be pinned back into their own half whilst playing against 13 men is absolutely criminal. A brilliant tackle by Vincent Tuka. Up against Sikimo Zanoche, driving him back. Oxenchair tries to get involved, but Tuka still got the dominance there. He's brilliant. He's probably one of the few players in this Lions side who would make the Lions of 2-3 years ago. Okay, so 4 more minutes left in the bin for Thomas du Toit when the Sharks come back up to 40 men, and then in 6 or 7 minutes, I think, until Fezambate comes back. But the Lions have managed to not capitalize at all through poor decision making. We've got a change here, though. Jakob Asaki is on for PJ Buerta. Can we put on a scrum off, please? Right, so Jakob Asaki's on for the Lions. Come back from injury. Decent signing from the Bulls. Not quite Malcolm Marks, but, I mean, who is? So it's a solid scrum from the Sharks, despite being down, a man down. Jamie Ward, inside ball to Apelea Fassi. Very good tackle there from Dan Creel and Reniel Hugo. Noche now. And just nice, but manages to get the ball away. Penalty advantage. So Bosch lines up for the drop goal. Doesn't miss a penalty. So, after all that, the Lions have managed to let the Sharks come to the 22, win a penalty. Cohen Bosch is going to stop this over, run down an extra minute for the yellow card. This is such poor game management from the Lions. From the Sharks, as a Sharks supporter, you are smiling. You are absolutely smiling at how easy it has been for you to get into the Sharks' half, win a penalty, and now you can take 3 points and run the clock down. It is criminal. How can you go down? How? How can you go down to 13 men? You let your opposition go down to 13 men and concede 3 points. How? Please explain to me in the comments, because I mean, that's criminal. How can you even expect to? How do you deserve to go to Europe if that's what you're going to do? Oh my goodness, this is like watching the Lions of 2010, 2011. It's just such amateur hour today. Cohen Bosch will have no issues with this whatsoever. Interesting point. Somebody was saying that we're looking at that penalty count clock, and you've got a minute. And in the first half, he kicked a penalty that actually went well over the minute, and the clock counted down to 0, and he kicked it afterwards, and it was given. Whether it was a case of miscommunication and the clock was started too early, I don't know, but quite an interesting point, because if that's the case, what's the point of having the clock? But no issues there. Sharks take the 3 points to up to 27 points to 12, and the Lions management, I mean, really, I'm doing my head, and I don't know what Ivan van Rooyen will be doing. You go down to 13 men and to score and to score 3 points. Jeepers creepers. A very nice start there by McClanahan. I mean, the Lions' backline's been non-existent. It's been Dan Creel, crash ball every single time. You got one to see the Similane, who's one of the most exciting attacking players in South Africa, and yet you've got him onto the ball twice. Cornels Kosai, that's a very good take. Thank you. Somebody wants to play. Similar, either of you, Nosh Draytons. Use your best players. Andrew Warner, I mean, is Fred Zenlinger standing 4 meters too far or something? Because every single time it's to his feet. Lions got an advantage here. Come now, you've got to score. We've got to score here now. There we go. Pulsar. Corners Kosai, that's a hospital pass down there. We'll go back for the penalty. Cornerfeld saying it looks stupid about playing. I think the Lions need a reality check. The Lions need so much more than a reality check. This is, you know what it is? It's one thing if you're just not good enough. That's fine. If you're just not good enough and the opposition's better, you know, I can understand that. I can get over it. I can understand the injuries. I can understand it's a worse squad. But there are errors you cannot make regardless of your squad, regardless of the situation. Fred Zenlinger, I mean, every time. Penalty inside the 22 and you can't put it on the 5 meter. It's those things. How can you, as what is going to be a Pro 16 fullback, top 4 unions in the country, and when you're in the 22, you can't put the ball out on the 5 meter? That should be every single time. And it's never, basically. And the Sharks are back up to 14 men now. You know, so they went down to 14 men, and the Lions managed to allow them to actually score points. I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. Okay, so he did get further close to the 5 meter. When the first kick that looked like he was well back. Once again, Dan Creel crash ball. Morley van den Berg's on the field. Thank you. That's about 54 minutes too late. Good line there from Schoolman. Go all the way! And they're over. Sorry, the time. Oh my goodness, that's appalling. There we go. The time is 54 minutes. It's Frankie Horton that goes over. Finally, the Lions hit back. Apparently, they don't like scoring points. They're down to 13. Not even they're down to 15. They're down to 14 now. Just too much power. They hit back there, but it's too late. That's such a big opportunity. So the Lions finally get the reward, but that needs to have been scored a while ago. You know, I mean, they're still, with that going over now, an 8-point difference. So, look, I mean, I'm not saying the Lions can't do it, but it's just poor. Sean Fell saying, I say the fans of the Pro 12 sides will think the Lions are one of the top 4 sides in SA. They have been. If you look at the last past 4 or 5 years, the Lions have been the best side in South Africa. But literally, I think Cornel Skosana is the only player. Yeah, Cornel Skosana is the only player on the field right now that was playing in those 3 finals, those 3 seasons we made the finals, is how much the squad is depleted. So it's a massive rebuild, but it's just you can't make the basic errors. I don't mind if you're not good enough, you know, if you're too experienced, stuff like that, but it's just, it's basics. I will always get frustrated at basics. Speaking of basics, Cohen Bosch has kicked that into the Lions in-goal area. Morley van den Berg, they've got a yellow card. We need to speed up play, not take your time. Renal player saying, hey man, how's the game been? The first 25 minutes was all the Sharks. In the second half, the Lions started off really well, put some good... Oh my Fred Zalinger! Well, it's worked out, but it's... Oh my living. Ian, now, what have you been watching if you don't think the Lions are the best in the last 4 years? That's 3 Super Rugby finals. Doesn't matter if they won them. You're going to say that the people that weren't in the Super Rugby finals weren't the best sides. Come now. How can you try and tell me that a side that wasn't making semi-finals, wasn't making finals, are better than the side in the final? Even if they didn't win the trophies in that time, they are the best side in the last 4 years. That's just a fact. That's not an opinion. But, yeah, I think the Lions are they just can't compete at the moment. I mean, the Sharks went down to 13 men because of bad discipline, rightly so. Both yellow cards are justified. The Lions didn't really take advantage. Sharks back up to 14. They score a try. And now we've got a scrum on the 22. There's been a slow decline since Ackerman left. Well, that's the problem. Everyone's left. You know, the coaching staff left. The players left. I mean, it's a whole different squad. Alton Yankees and Cordell Hassan are the only 2 really left. Coaching staff, it's all changed. Everything has changed since sort of those glory years. Right, Sharks got penalty advantage here. You can watch their breaks up. Oh, he's not the advantage. Didn't Jack Creel come back? Where is he? Jack Creel is injured as far as I know. Willem Alberts is injured. Tian Swanepoel is injured. Who else is injured? Stian Pienaar is now injured. I mean, literally, anything that could go wrong in the Lions Union at the moment is going wrong. Gianni Lombard's injured. They're like, I think it's like 8 or 9 first-team players injured. Alton Yankees out on loan in France. Dylan Smith just left. It's a disaster in the Johannesburg franchise. While the Sharks announce business centers and signings and stuff like that, the Lions just sort of crumble. Well, Carlos Sardi's been penalised there for going onto his knees. In the first half, Oxen Chair was basically scrumming on 2 knees at one stage and we got a short arm. So, I mean, that is a penalty. But I'm still going to go back to that one earlier. I can't believe it wasn't blown. Right, so we've got 2 new props on, and that's Cornel Skosana who's gone off, which is a very strange substitution. I'm trying to work out. I assume Burger Odendahl's come on. Okay, so the Sharks on a penalty. They've gone to the line. We're running more here. They've got some dominance here. They're trying to splinter, but still keep going. It's still very well formed. I reckon this is going to be a try. They've got an advantage. And they'll crash over, and they'll go over the... So the Sharks hit back with 14 men, and they've scored 3 points with 13. They've scored 5 points with 14. And that is probably the final nail in the coffin. Look, I mean, a try quickly for the Lions, and it'll all be back on. But the fact of the matter is that the Lions have not been playing against 15 men for about 30 minutes, and they've scored 7 points and conceded 8, potentially 10. So, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Trying to work out what's happened with substitutions here. I saw Courtland's son go off, which, when the Lions don't have a recognised wing on the bench, is a strange decision. So I'm trying to work out who came on for him and what the Lions have done as a result. Whether they brought in Burger Udendal in the midfield and pushed Wandisile Similani out to the wings. But that was try number 4 for the Sharks. So they've got the bonus point, which is probably the main thing. I think that the Bulls were quite disappointed they didn't get a bonus point last week. And that's the sad part as a Lions fan, is that we've become the side that you target bonus points for. You know? Not as opposed to, it's going to be a tough game. It's, can we get a bonus point or not? And that's just so sad. But I think what the Lions need is a decent off-season to try and get a full squad together. And they need money. It's a fantastic kick from Curran Bosch. Yep, that sails through the middle. So, 34 points to 19. The Sharks have dominated in every single possible way today. The scrums have been good. The lineouts have functioned. Discipline was poor for that sort of 10 minutes. They got 2 yellow cards. They did actually get a turnover and didn't concede any points whilst being 13 down. So, you know, you can't really complain too much. I wouldn't say it's the complete performance from the Sharks. I think they could have been a little bit more clinical, but far more good than bad. And Similani spilled that backwards. Dan Creel's back. He gets wrapped up by Pepsi Buthelezi, who's trying to rip that in the tackle. But the Lions have managed to keep it on. They've got possession about the halfway line. That's Nathan Macbeth. You see, Morning van der Berg. Oh, MJ Pulser, how do you drop that? Knock on the... I mean, that's just sort of sums it up, isn't it? And he's been really good today. He's been really, really good, has MJ Pulser. One of the few players who stood up. But an easy, in the breadbasket, nice go-forward ball, and he spilt it. Just takes his eye off the ball. But a scrum here. We've got 2 new props from the Lions. I think we've got Nklabakanya and Nathan Macbeth both on. 12 handling errors from the Lions compared to 6 from the Sharks. And that tells a story, doesn't it? When you haven't been, and when the Lions have been struggling at scrum time, to have 12 handling errors is massive. You're not going to win games. You're not going to be able to play or compete for games if you're going to have 12 handling errors in a match where you can't gain any sort of scrum ascendancy. Sharks back up to a full contingent, by the way, so I can take off that yellow card. So we've got 20 minutes left. And then the Stormers versus Bulls game kicks off at 6:15 SA time. So in about, 40 minutes? Does it look like the Sharks have fixed some of the issues from last week, or is it because of not being under the same pressure? Look, the Sharks have been good. I'm not going to say the Sharks haven't been good. Klabakanya comes in with a big hit on Werner Koch. There is an advantage. There usually is. I mean, the Sharks have been good. I'm not going to say the Sharks haven't been good. But I do think that the Lions have been very, very poor. Another handling error there. So I think a better side would have really punished the Sharks when they went down to 13. If that was the case, then suddenly there would be, points could be level. They could even be behind. So the lineout has been very good. The maul has been all right. Scrums have been very good. The Oxenchair and Thomas Toy did have the better of Carly Sardi and Stu Tolly for most of the game. The kicking game from Curran Bosch, I've seen better from him. It wasn't better, a lot better than Fred Zalinger's has been. I think that's probably where the Sharks have won the match. If you look at individuals and you have to line up the Sharks 15 and the Lions 15, the Sharks players outplayed their counterpart in pretty much every single position. I think I can't think of any position where a Lions player has been better than his Sharks counterpart. That's the reality. Maybe Vincent Tutuka. So I'm trying to think. I mean, Ruck's breakdown wise, it has been better. They have looked after the ball quite a lot better. I think still probably something that they need to try and fix. And that's going to be fixed if they can try and bring Dylan Richardson in at hooker. That'll be a big boost to the breakdown, because you don't. That would have been tried time. Well, the Sharks are butchered, and I want to see the Similani kick the ball behind you, and he's tearing after him. Spoon Corsi, that's very well played. It looks like one of the Similani is on the wing now. And it's a penalty from the Lions as well. Morty van den Berg, you've got no support. Thank you, F. Bring it back. Yeah, so I think they have been better at the breakdown. No, please, please never apologize for asking the questions. That's the whole point of this, is to try and create a bit of dialogue and have a chat. So I understand that not everybody can watch it, so by all means, ask as many questions as you want. This is all about discussions anyway. So, a bit of a butcher of a line-up move there from the Sharks. They had a line on the 5 meter, and I think Pepsi Buthelezi was supposed to pop it around, and they completely missed the man, and as a result, want to see a similar Similani managed to kick the ball forward. Very nice chase on him, managed to sort of chase down Spoon Corsi, and then they won the penalty. So they've kicked, and they've got a line out about 5 meters from the 5. So, more time here from the line. It's a very good early shove. Very lateral, but going forward a little bit. Now the call comes to use it once. They've got Similani, who's down the blind side. Morty van den Berg goes himself. He's very isolated. Thankfully, Jakob Asaki, or I think that's actually Nathan Macbeth, helps him out there. Come on, Lions. Hit back here. Make it a game. Make it a game. Go, Asanate. Bloody handling. It's another handling error. It's another handling error. That's handling error number 30. This time from EW for Yun. Oh, that's sliced with the side of his boot. So they won't get a lot of advantage there. And that kind of sums it up. The Lions looking good. Suddenly under a bit of couple of phases. Fantastic tackle. The Kanyu, on Asinate and Clever Kanyu is about 130 kgs. Brilliant tackle there from the Sharks captain. Ian, now predictions on the Stormers and Bulls. It has to be the Bulls. That Stormers side, I think they got 5 injuries from last weekend. On top of the injuries they already have. For the Bulls, they're bringing back Morne Steyn, Dwayne Vermeulen's back. I don't see how the Stormers win that game, to be very honest. But look, anything can happen. But I do think that the Stormers, I mean, yeah. Abner van Renen starting at fly half. You've got Godlin similar at number 9. Ruan Null's left. Sebenus Nutley's suspended. Nama Klaba is injured. And once again, Dan Creel will carry it up. He makes meters, but I just don't understand why we haven't used one to see the similar anymore. And they've left the ball behind. Thankfully went backwards. Go for Yun! Go for Yun! If the Sharks, if the Lions want anything out of this game, they've got to score in the next sort of 5 minutes. Fred Zellinger tries to tip over the top. Go, Burgerinda! Oh, no! Very good covering there from Apelid Fassi, but there was an advantage. They'll go back for... Oh, no, it's a penalty to the Sharks. Well, that's about right, isn't it? Ahead of the kicker. I mean, every single time you try and do something, they just stuff it up. That's... As I said, the Sharks have been good today, but the Lions have been very, very horrible. I think that's just a very harsh reality. I mean, there. Kick over the top to try and score a try, and Birger Undal's ahead of the kicker. So, any news on Kutsia by any chance? I think the Stormers will make it close less than 7. I'm assuming you're talking about Jakob Kutsia. I actually don't know what's happening with him, because... Yeah, I think he was... he's gone over. I don't know if he's playing overseas or what the story is. And he has joined Bath. He has left the Stormers. That's the plan. So for the last 14 minutes here, Oxenshare, a decent game from him. I wouldn't say his best. I think probably about 3 handling errors from him. We'll check the stats after the game. But was very good at scrum time. I was quite impressed because Carly Sardi's a very... Oh, Marcel Kutsia. Sorry, now I'm with you. Yeah, I don't actually know what's happening with him. He's he's here. He picked up his bucky from the Bulls. Is there anything more stereotypical than arriving here and saying here's a Toyota Hilux for joining? But yeah, so I know he's been given a bucky from the Bulls, but I don't know what's happening with his integration and when we can expect to see him. I mean, I'm assuming as Rassie Erasmus, he wants to get him on the pitch quite soon, so he can try and put him into contention for the Springboks. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see him soon. I'm trying to get my way into the press conferences for the Bulls and stuff like that, so I can ask those sort of questions. So when we do, we'll try and get some updates on that. Alright, so the Sharks now use it. Kanye looks to chip over the top. Very well read by Vincent Tuka. I feel so sorry for somebody like Vincent Tuka, who will give you a 100% performance from the first minute to the last minute, and yet everybody around him just can't compete. Thomas Toy. Ooh, Khaleesi, that's a brilliant offload. Now, Spoon Corsi, the Sharks will into the 22. Nice little chicken wing pass there from Sia Khaleesi to find Spoon Corsi. There's space out wide. That's a loose pass. Fassi kicks through, but Ras McClana is very nicely covered there. He's had no ball today as well. Fred Zelinger, where are you kicking that? It's down the middle. It's bounced favorably, but I mean, really. Fassi now goes up. That's a forward pass. BSW Hammond, hope you're doing well. Would love to collab with you in the lead up to the Lions tour. No, definitely. I've had lots of plans to try and reach out channels like yours. I've watched quite a bit of that stuff. So, yeah, my email address should be on the screen in a couple of seconds. So, pop me a mail or anything like that, and I'll get in touch, and we'll do a lot of collabs for the Lions tour. I mean, similarly, I wouldn't even be playing him on the wing. I think he's got brilliant acceleration, but his top speed is not phenomenal. So, I mean, Fassi's had the better of him for a lot of the game. But as a Lions fan, I cannot understand. You've got similarity. I'm going to say it. He's the most attacking, naturally talented attacking number 13 in the country. He is, and yet he hasn't got the ball once. You've got Rabs McClana, who was Dan Cruz knocked the ball on. This is actually so painful. It's not even funny anymore. It's how many handling errors do we need to make? And they're not even like it's hard passes. In the breadbasket stuff, and every single time they're knocking it on. It's absolutely dreadful. Oh my goodness. It's like watching a bloody school game. Trying to find out what the blooming knock-on count is, because it's unbelievable the handling errors the Lions have had so far today. Well, it's very well played by Kanye. I think he spilled it. Did you manage to hold on to that? Yeah, no, it's a knock-on there. The frustrating thing is, I think the most frustrating thing is that the Lions have been really, really average today. Maybe I'm being harsh on the performance, but I think that if the Lions didn't concede, I think it's like 16 handling errors, and had capitalized on 13 man, I think the Lions could have actually gotten a result today. I think the Sharks have been good, but not great. Sharks could be a lot more clinical and could be a lot. The percentage rugby, I think, could have been a lot higher. But the Lions have just not been able to get anything out of it. Look, if they score a try, they get a bonus point. So, I mean, there's still 2 points in here for the Lions if they can go and score a try. But, I mean, they're in the wrong end of the pitch here. Also, can we put on Jordan Hendricks? I want to see the twin. I want to see the brother battle here. Jaden's been really good since coming on for the Sharks. Let's see what Jordan can do. And there's a penalty for the Lions at scrum time. So, here we go. 10 minutes to try and get to the other end of the pitch, score a try, and see if we can get something out of the game. And here we go. Change in the front row for the Sharks. Intutuka Mkuno comes on for Ox and Chair. We've got a completely new scrum on both sides. Good line win there from the line. For Yun. And they've just completely... I mean, if they win this ball back, yeah... Okay, knock on there from the Lions. You just can't... Yeah, deepest. Thoughts on Reniel Hugo this week? He's been very good. He's been a fantastic signing for the Sharks. I mean, you know, he wasn't quite the standard he was last weekend, but I suppose you can't score a hat-trick every weekend. But he's been a quality signing for the Sharks. Almost had a try in the first half. Try assist, I suppose. But the scrums have been, I mean, the lineups have been very good for the Sharks. We're on North Narkle off for Len Bassane, who is a 8th man, so I'm not quite sure what the thinking is yet. I don't know why he's suddenly in the second row. We've also got Emmanuel Tutuka on. Good to see Len Bassane back for the Lions. One of the players that I think the Lions need to get onto the field a lot more. Frankie Horn, very talented at 8th man, but Len Bassane was a good player. Very excited to see the Tutukas and how they develop. Vincent's been fantastic for the Lions, one of their best players by a country mile. And his brother can be anything like that. I think there can be two very important assets for the Lions. Kick through, that Spoon Corsi has jumped on. There was a knock on there, and nice tackle by Emmanuel Tutuka, who looks huge, by the way. Put on Jordan Hendrickse. Come on. Everybody keeps talking about the Hendrickse battle, and at this stage, we're not even going to see it. It's one of the best days to say it's the 400th scrum of the game. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And I'm sorry, it's all the Lions' fault because, as I said, I think about 18 handling errors. Right, well, 39 people watching at the moment. Thank you very much for coming and hanging out. We'll be live in less than half an hour, hopefully, if we can get everything sorted for the Bulls versus Stormers clash. Should be quite a good one. Please do smash like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We are 2 away from 1,300. Surely you are not going to let me go to the end of the game without hitting 1,300. We only needed 3 across the entire day. So if you haven't subscribed, please do smash the subscribe button. Get up to 1,300 before the end of the game. As we have some reset scrums here, just for a change. Da, 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 da. Looking at some of the stats here, the Kanya has made 13 tackles today, not missed one, and had won 2 turnovers. That's a brilliant performance from the Sharks. 13. Ray North Marco, 11 tackles. Vincent Tuka, 9 tackles. A couple of decent individual performances from the line, but just as a group, there we go. Ras McLean in a bit of space there. He's lining up Penke, who goes outside him. Does hang on though. He's made some meters. The first time he's actually been given some time to run. That's playing the scrum off. Yeah, thank you. Morning Vandenberg. Don't go, don't go, don't go. Come on, man. Ivan, put on Jordan. I don't understand this. What is the point of putting somebody on the bench? And look, I mean, Fred Zandling has not been phenomenal. He really has not been brilliant. But why put someone on the bench if you're not going to use them? I mean, if it's a match winner, you can't sacrifice them. I can go with that. But I don't think Fred Zandling has been so incredible for the Lions that we can't touch him. And there we go. The subscribe is actually finally updated. We are up to over 1,300. So after all that, thank you very much, everybody who subscribed. Last 5 minutes here. Can the Lions get a bonus point to try? They're going with the more, which is not going anywhere. So Morley Vandenberg's going to have to use this. And Dan Creel crash ball just for a change. Makes the meters though. Vandenberg to Tuco now. Emmanuel, not Vincent. On the 22 here. Vandenberg delayed the pass. He saw the onrushing traffic. So no scrum off here. Saki. Oh, is it? Oh, you idiots! How many more times do we have to knock the ball on? Literally, if you had caught that, we would have scored. It's literally one on everyone, and Berger Oendal knocks it on. I cannot actually believe that. It was try time. It was a try time. It was pretty much guaranteed, and you knock it on. Whew. I'm desperately trying to find the handling statistics because they have been atrocious. Well, I spent the Vesas entirely in the bench that they can't be tied because they just come on. Love that. Right, so I think the Lions have just butchered their last opportunity to gain that bonus point try. We're going back for another reset here. Hey, penalty for the Lions. Come on. The front row, the new front row, since they come on, it's actually been very good. And Klabakanya and Nathan Mabeth have actually made quite a big difference. So credit to them. Penalty for the Lions. Hey, and Jordan Hendrickson will kick it to the corner. Good to see him on. Brother of Jaden Hendrickson. Unfortunately, didn't get to play with each other. They probably would have started for the ACA under 20s last year if there was a championship, but there wasn't. And obviously now too old. So I think it's hard. Surely you can organize a competition and allow those players. I mean, that's such a big opportunity for these players to get some game time in front of lots of people. And Lions will once again try and get a bonus point try. I mean, this is about the 15th time they've tried. Well, the Lions win the line out. They've shifted the contact point and they've got a bit of momentum, but I think the call is for use it. It's all collapsed now. Who knows where the ball is? And it's been ripped. It's just been really poor at the end of the day. I mean, so many opportunities to try and score points, so many opportunities to get that bonus point, and they're just not taking any of them. So the Lions can only blame themselves for today. And yes, they're not expected to win, and the Sharks are a much better side. But it's just inexcusable errors. We've got some cramp there. I don't know who it is. Well, Ewan's got the ball. Dan Creel wrapping around. There's players on the outside there. Good contest there from Werner Koch. Right, so the Lions back with possession. They've got 2 minutes. Can they get a bonus point try? No arms tackle there from 6 against Sia Khaleesi. Hendrickson now goes himself. Tries to get a pass out the back. I think we're going to see a yellow card here from Sia Khaleesi. No. It's Henko Feta, so that's just an accumulation. So it's another yellow card for the Sharks, which doesn't really help the Lions. They don't really like scoring points when there's a yellow card, but the Sharks will finish with 14 men. There's a minute to go. So not much time for the Lions to try and get something out of it, but hey. Okay, so Jordan Henshaw will try and find touch, and then we're going to try another more. We're going to time off here. They got some blood here from, I think it's on Yakubasaki, who I'm sure will be back in the starting lineup next week for the Lions as they try and get back to a full strength side. So the Lions can score here and get up to 26 points. It'll be a fairly fair reflection, and I think frustrating because I think that they have been pretty poor, but I think poor in the fact that, you know, with a little bit of composure, with some better handling and doing the basics better, the Lions could have gotten a result here. And that's where, as a fan, that's where the real frustration comes in. And they're over. Come on, bonus point. We move. Vincent, my boy, gets a kiss from the brother. He's deserved that. He's been great all game. 24 points to 34. It's too late to get the result, but hopefully that's a bonus point. And now Henderson will try and kick to get with. I mean, you can't get within 7, so. Big more there, but Vincent from Chituka has been fine. Advice for Lions. Skill number 1, know how to hold onto your ball. Literally, all they have to do is just not concede 20. I'm pretty sure it's up to 20 handling errors. I'm desperately trying to find the statistic because it has been atrocious. That's why there's been Asmar van der Vestes and 400. Jordan Hendrickson. Hey, he slots that as well. So, 34 points to 26. The Sharks outclassed the Lions. The Lions had opportunities to make the count. I think that's the frustration. You know, Vince Tuka shaking his head. He knows that they could have got something out of that game, but just they weren't good enough. Handling was poor. Lions were okay, but scrums were under a little bit of pressure. The Sharks had 3 yellow cards, but the Lions could not capitalize. So that's how it ends in Durban. 34 points to 26. We'll have a review up very shortly, and then we'll be live for the Stormers versus Bulls clash. So stay on the channel, subscribe right now, smash like on the video. Thank you very much for everybody who's tuned in. Hopefully see you on the Bull Stormers stream in a couple of minutes. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys soon.